Electronic cigarettes: the story of Nancy and her addiction. Nancy, like most high school students, hit a point of stress in her life. Balancing all her courses, a part-time job, Steve, her boyfriend, and her several assignments, she was constantly staying up late and in turn sleeping in. Looking tired and unwell, Nancy runs into class late, something she's been doing for the past 4 weeks. After class, Nancy met up with her boyfriend Steve in the hallway. Steve had been a smoker for 3 years now. He claimed that smoking a cigarette would give her a head rush and give her more energy to last her next class. Although she was nervous to try smoking, Steve had finally managed to convince Nancy to have a cigarette, as she was desperate for something to get her out of her stress and sleepy state. Nancy tried her first cigarette, and besides all the coughing, she became alert and ready to learn. After school, Steve took Nancy to the convenience store and bought Nancy her first pack of cigarettes. Although people could smell the smoke off of her, and Lisa, the cashier, mentioned the health risks associated with smoking, Nancy was excited nonetheless with her new product. After a few days, while doing some homework on her laptop, she came across an ad for electronic cigarettes. She had been feeling a little guilty about starting smoking cigarettes, as both her grandfathers had passed away from lung cancer, so she decided to research electronic cigarettes. Based on her results, she knew that electronic cigarettes were a slightly healthier option to regular cigarettes. She went to the store and bought her first e-cigarette. Feeling sad, she knew an addiction had begun to form in her system. As the weeks had gone by, Nancy became more absorbed by smoking and calming her nerves than actually doing schoolwork and waking up on time. Nancy showed up late to school again. Her teacher said that if she is late one more time, she will be kicked out of his class and won't be able to graduate with the rest of her class. Nancy was distraught and ran outside for some air. While feeling embarrassed from what her teacher had just said, Nancy reached for her e-cigarette. Nancy started skipping school altogether, hanging out at home and smoking to relieve her pain. After a few weeks had gone by and Nancy began having chest pain, discomfort, a constant tiredness, and as the day progressed, she started coughing up blood. She decided it'd be best to visit her doctor. He had explained to her that based on her family history and her smoking habit, she was in a high risk of having lung cancer. He had sent her for some tests to see if there were any other internal issues causing her symptoms. Nancy's doctor insisted on having her stay the night, just to make sure her symptoms didn't progress. Steve came to see her at the hospital and realized how silly it was to convince his girlfriend to start smoking, a habit he knew himself was very dangerous. The following day, before she was discharged, Nancy and her doctor went through a plan in order to prevent lung cancer. She would first quit smoking, then would alter her diet and lifestyle. She would have to attend individualized therapy and undergo treatment to minimize disease development. Her doctor also suggested periodic lung cancer screening. After carefully altering her life choices and prioritizing her life and education, Nancy was able to quit her e-cigarette smoking habit and was 3 months smoke-free when she graduated with her class.